Hey y'all, it's MJ from Ulta Love. Hopefully my connection stays okay. I'm now on an island in Indonesia called Lombok. I arrived yesterday. It's rainy season, so it's humid and raining. I just wanted to talk to you guys about loving presence and spiritual work and how easy it can be to deny, mask, and deflect the work with our words and often our busyness. So, being really busy doing stuff. And it is, there is I would say, a certain cyclical process or timeline to really deepening and getting into that, like, authentic connection that you have with yourself. And you could say that you have with spirit or that you have with God, or you can really use any word, but it really is still all in you. It's still the connection that you have in your own heart. And the more work you do, which is to me just owning and transforming your own emotional pain and trauma and just feeling your feelings, the more you're able really to just be a presence for people. And the more you notice, like, yourself in that presence with other, you'll also notice how powerful it is, because when we're still dealing with a lot of our own triggers and emotional storms, it's easy to want to fix other people and to want to tell them how to be and tell them how to live. And that's not really the kind of true essence of teaching, because in as far as like the law of attraction and different teachings, it's really the essence of who we are. It's the energy that we carry and that we radiate. That's in truth how we teach people. Words can be pretty empty, and words can cover up a lot of our truth and a lot of our feeling. And I say this because as an empath, I understand that this shit can get really really weird, and there's so many different layers, and people talk about spirituality, and people so often tell other people, like, this is how to be spiritual. And the word spirituality doesn't really mean anything, ultimately. It's just you, us, we're here, we're having this experience. And whether you call the experience, let's just be Emilio. Thank you for showing up, man. Yay. It's this co-creative experience that we're having that is like the shit. It's the awesomeness, And so if we're judging people because they're not spiritual or like they're doing something that triggers us, it's not really a reflection of them. It's our own. Even in A Course in Miracles, it talks about atonement. Atonement is really, to me, the unraveling of all of those emotional triggers and storms and waves, and becoming a lot more mindful and present with our own self, so that we're more consciously aware of not projecting. And even when it comes from quote unquote good intentions, where we're like, oh, you need to get a job, or you should be doing this, or you should be doing that, it might, in our rational mind, we might be able to say, yeah, it's coming from a good place. But intuitively, what I feel is like that is still masking underlying insecurities and underlying kind of judgments and fears that one will be carrying. And I know, because like I've been there, I'm trying to fix this and fix that and save the world or whatever, and yet my own existence is a mess. My own existence is distorted and frightened and fearful and shameful and all that kind of stuff. So just starting to own and feel and transform our own shame cycles and our own guilt cycles and our own fear cycles, and then suddenly start feeling better, and then keep going, and then keep going. And within that, you start to see and feel the difference. And that's, to me, the proof of the put of this work, is like, I might go through phases of crying a lot, and I might go through phases of just like having to hold space for like rage or anger or irritation. But it's beautiful to not have to put it on someone else, and also to step into a reality where the people around me are all like awakened and all sovereign and self-responsible. And so eventually you get to a point where your relationships are very clear and harmonious reflections. And then you get more rooted in the practice so that you really can just be present and be loving for people, because it's the energy that you emit. That's the teaching. That's how you assist people, not by telling them how to be necessarily, although words might come out, but you know, just be you. And that is spirit, you know. That's whatever we want to call it, spirit is. It's, to me, it's just everything. It's this whole existence, right? So the more you love yourself, the more you can just be a loving presence for people, and that really is, you know, the work. But be mindful, be really mindful of the words you're using, and pay attention to the energy streams, pay attention to how you feel when someone says something, because the words that they say might not match the feeling that you're feeling. And that, with that regard, that's where I would say the rise of the empath or the prophet, or like these kind of, you know, aware human beings and their feelings. You can discern the difference, you know. And oftentimes we use words to mask our own fear. So if you're an empath and you're sometimes feeling a bit like confused or drained, or just like, what was that, or why were they telling me that, or what's wrong with me because that person said I need to do this or that, it's often not you. It's just something that person might be dealing with. And so you can drop back, come into your meditation space and send love, you know, be loving. Still, that's the beauty of, you know, the non-judgment piece, is you can step back and you know, do the inner work to kind of like work out where you are again, and so you can feel just centered in yourself. And then you can still be like, okay, because everyone's on their journey, right? That's the beauty, is like non-judgment's kind of, it gets easier at some point, because you realize that literally, like, every single one of us is on our own unique journey, and it's beautiful. And you know, if every time you come into contact with someone you feel shitty about it, then you just let yourself walk away, but you can still love them. Conscious creator gods, responsible for our reality, pure love, agree 100%. Emilio, thank you so much for joining me this morning. This is a fairly just like impromptu share, because I had a FaceTime with my mom, and the connection was really good. So I'll show with you just like where I am. This beautiful, it's like Bali would have been. So Bali, Indonesia, it's like what Bali would have been like 20 years ago probably. So it's a lot more quiet. Katie and I are staying in just this like little place. We're right on the main road, and Sengigi is down that way. So I'm gonna rent a scooter today and do some exploring after I get a little bit of writing done and have my morning coffee. But yeah, thanks a lot for joining me, and I hope that was useful to you. Thank you for your reflection, Emilio. I really appreciate it. And just wishing you guys all a really glorious and loving day. I'm so thankful to be here right now. Thank you. Have a fucking awesome day, dude. Lots of love. Peace out.